To build a phylogenetic tree, the first thing you have to do is look at all of the OTUs you are supposed to put in the tree you are building. The abbreviation OTU stands for Operational Taxonomic Units, which are the different related variables on any phylogenetic tree. In this case, our operational taxonomic units are going to be different species. Now, there is a cat posing as a puma and a German shepherd posing as a wolf, but close enough, right? We can use our imagination. The collection of species we'll be building a tree for includes a black lab, a catahoula, a wolf, a fox, a puma, a domestic cat, human, and a monkey. Sadly, I don't have pet monkey or fox, so they will be photos from the internet. We can start by grouping the animals we can very closely see are the most closely related, like the black lab and the catahoula, which should be the closest related as they are both domestic dog species. Now, the closest thing to them would be the wolf, obviously, right? Because they are both canines, but they are different enough to say that they branched off at some common ancestor. Now, a little side note on why they are not the same species. First off, they have a small amount of DNA that differs between the two. Second, we observe what's called a behavioral prezygotic reproductive isolation between the species, meaning they do not choose to mate with each other based off of different mating behaviors. Therefore, the species becomes branched and stays branched. Back to the big picture, though. The question now is, would the two breeds of domestic dogs be on different branches? The answer is no. Where the wolf and the domestic dog follow cladogenesis trend, meaning that there is an actual separation of the two species and separate evolution, the different breeds of domestic dogs will follow a trend called anagenesis. Anagenesis is the change throughout time a species shows, so how the species Canis familiaris was selectively bred for traits down the line. Now, the next closest related species we have is the fox, but that branched off back at the Canidae family, not from the Canis genus. So it will be on the next branch back where the Vulpae genus and the Canis genus branched off from Canidae family. Now, we know that cats and dogs are both from the carnivore order, so that will be our larger branch where Felidae and Canidae families separated, and we can group our puma and domestic cat from that family. Now we need to continue to work backwards to show the carnivore order branched from which would be the class mammals. The OTUs we have left to classify are human and the monkey, which we know also came from the mammals, so their branch would be classified in the order of primates. We also know that certain monkeys and humans have similar enough gene sequences that we can group them together, but are different species so that they will have their own branch, humans being the Homo genus and monkeys being a different genus. Since we see that these two species branched out from much earlier from mammals than the other species in our tree, this is what we would call the outgroup. This outgroup provides great information to our tree by showing that all the species of our collection arose from a common ancestor, and this knowledge helps us confirm that our tree is in fact a rooted tree. A rooted tree can only be used if the order in which the species branched from each other is known, in which this case it is. Now we have completed our rooted phylogenetic tree that shows us the relationships between the species from the internal nodes, which represent the most common ancestor of the two species had, all the way back to the original class of mammals.